got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, yeah, got rose in my cup, though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Gunnar, but Boromant's got the inside.
Star here in this phenomenal race. Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that pivotal lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Alright. Hello everyone, and welcome to round 6 of the F7 Championship here on PSGL. I'm K997, your lead commentator for this event, and this time we are racing at the historic Suzuka circuit for the Japanese Grand Prix. Before we go further into that, we're going to go into the incident reports. Fortunately, though, there was only one incident that came out of last week's race at Austria, and that was an incident involving Janecki and Michele, which I'm guessing Michele reported this incident for Janecki crossing over the pit lane entry line, which obviously in PSGL rules or any rules in league racing, that is something you are not allowed to do. But he was given Janecki was given a 5-second time penalty for that incident. However, though, that doesn't mean he lost the lead. The win, however. He ends up still winning the race, but only by 0.2 of a second, because the gap before that was 5.2 seconds when the incident happened. So it doesn't affect the result anyway. So, as you can see on the Drivers' Championship, it's currently Riggs leading the way on 50 points, followed by Profitox in second with 44 points, and then Michele in third, who is actually still a reserve driver. I'm surprised he hasn't got a full-time seat yet. Is in third with 41 points. Brandox in fourth with 40. Janecki, like I mentioned last week's. Actually, no, it does say he finished second in the champion last week. I think that might need to be changed because it was 5.2 seconds the gap last I checked. So, anyway, so he's in fifth with 34 points according to the standings. In sixth is Rezify with 25 points, and then Bell B in 7th with 21. Nathan in 8th with 18 points, and 9th is Boomsha with 11, and then rounding off is Cedric with only 8 points. And then we'll move on to the constructors if we may as well. With, let's see here. Give me a brief second. So in the Constructors' Championship, we got Red Bull in the way on 51 points. That's followed by Ferrari in second with 47 points. And in third is Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo tied for third with 42 points. Then AlphaTauri fifth with 29. McLaren on sixth with 25. Along with Mercedes, and then Haas in eighth with 9. Alpine ninth with 7, and Williams rounds it off with 5 points. Alright, well, that is pretty much it in terms of the standings. I guess we can now. I guess I can now introduce my co-commentator, Flynn. Um, so yeah, Flynn. Pretty tight so far in both respective standings so far. Um, how do you think? How do you view this championship so far? How have you been liking it, at least?
Well, to be honest, right, when I came to PSGL to do comms with UKD, obviously F7, I wasn't expecting a very competitive grid, if you know what I mean. But so far this season, we've had awesome track battles, lovely wheel-to-wheel action, and some crazy finishes with drivers getting a little bit more pace, a little bit more confident, and chasing down to the end of the wire. But no, this championship is starting to almost get quite exciting because 1 minute there's a massive gap, and then the next minute the driver in P2 has managed to catch up, and then they managed to switch the lead, but then it switches back again. So it's like a tug of war. You're pulling that rope to win it, but then it's being tugged back out of your hands so the other person can win it. So at the moment, it's quite difficult to tell which team would possibly win the constructors and which driver might win the championship. So for now, it is quite exciting. What about yourself?
Yeah, no, you probably hit it all on point, really, in terms of all the stuff that's been happening. We've had close qualifying, competitive racing, and recently it's been the most clean too. It's I mean, the cleanest I've seen so far in terms of racing. Yeah, we don't really have races that have safety cars involved. We've only had maybe one race that we've had two safety cars. That was back at Silverstone. Other than that, though, yeah, it's been somewhat close, competitive, and like, yeah, no, it's just been absolutely amazing. We had a close qualifying in Austria. We've had close qualifying at Silverstone. I mean, of course, they're expected because everyone knows those sort of tracks, or even Interlagos. But like the last week of qualifying at Austria, we had the entire field, I think, severed by 7.5 tenths. Like that is extremely close. Especially for Austria, because I've normally seen it like the entire field severed by just nearly a second. But yeah, no, this grid is close. They are maybe a little bit quicker than I anticipated, kind of like what you said before, how the field is. We weren't expecting them to reach where they are right now. Well, not reach right now. What I meant to rephrase that, we didn't know that they were going to be like towards where we thought they were, but no, it's been really good. Anyway, as you can see on the countdown clock as well, we are just approaching the start of the qualifying session here at Suzuka Circuit. So I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of what this track is all about. So this track is a figure of eight circuit, pretty much a clockwise figure of eight circuit to be more specific. This track was first introduced into Formula One back in 1987. It was actually first opened up back in 1962. However, though, there are a lot of technical corners and only one DRS zone to help out, and that is down the main straight that leads into the right-handers of turns 1 and 2. There's also the technical S section of turns 3 to 6 that the drivers will have to be wary of, going up the S section and then around Dunlop curve. And then, of course, you got the quick turns 8 to 9, the turn 8 known as Dana curve, and then, of course, the heavy braking zone of turn 9. Then, of course, underneath the bridge, you've got the Kobayashi hairpin. Now, there's a reason why that's called Kobayashi hairpin. Of course, if you know the driver Kamui Kobayashi, he did a lot of overtakes. I probably would say more opportunistic overtakes he did back in 2010, where he overtook 5 drivers down the inside. Not 5 drivers exactly down the inside, just like one at a time. If I want to be more specific. Then of course you got Spoon Curve, the sweeping left-hander, which is turns 13 to 14, and then 130R, which I have seen overtakes happen there plenty of times over the course, not just in real life F1 racing, of course in virtual as well. Of course, most historically, if you remember 2005 with Fernando Alonso's move around the outside of the great Michael Schumacher. Yeah, which caught James Allen really off guard in that race. But yeah, and then you got the Casio Triangle. That place can be somewhat of an overtaking spot. So yeah, we could see some things that could happen here in terms of overtaking. Oh yeah, speaking of 130R, hopefully we don't have another Alfie Butcher incident like we had last Wednesday.
Fingers
Sorry,
crossed.
Alfie.
That's what we
Yeah,
are. That's what we
fingers
are
crossed.
hoping for. Fingers crossed. But a very
Exactly.
busy track. Everyone on a lap was not
Yeah, they're on a-
expecting this.
Yeah, no,
How busy
everybody's
it
on
is.
out laps.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, everybody is out, and they're all on soft tires. No, no one's on intermediate. So, you know why? If you ever see F1 Esports or the PSGL guys from the F1 side, that's the F1 Esports I'm talking about. Sometimes they'll go to the intermediate tires for the first bit of the session just to save their tires for
Yeah.
the session. Well, for the soft tires, I should add. But yeah, no, everyone's on the slicks. So yeah, that's at least nice to see.
I'm riding aboard
Tell you
with
what, if
Leo
we
at the
can-
moment, and pretty much not too bad. He's had a very good Sector 1. As we always say, you know, drivers on a first banker will set light as purple sectors, as they're the first driver to set a lap time. But no, that Haas is looking fairly comfortable at the moment. No major issues. Obviously, this turn now, turn 13 and 14, is a bit of a struggle as he's about to leave Sector 2 into Sector 3. Because if you get it all wrong and you clip that inside curb, I know in 2022 you clip that inside curb and your car would randomly spin. I've got no clue if it still does it in this game because I've not really raced on this track much. I don't know if you know, KD, but I don't know if it's still a thing or if they managed to fix that. Of course, the grip is a little bit different.
It's still kind of a thing. It's just basically, it's just how the car behaves if you go around that corner. Your car will try to go for a little bit of a spin. But anyway, there's the benchmark. Leo sets the time of 1:27.4. That's now been obliterated by Riggs with a 1:26.8. Already we're in the 1:26s. Tucker goes second with a 27.2. And I think there's a McLaren there that's starting a flying lap. Actually, no, completed lap, I should say. That is Matt Zozo. That's a new driver, I think, in this grid tonight. I think he's a reserve driver. He does a 26.8. Only about 13,000 clear of Riggs at the moment. Belbaby goes to third with a 26.9. That's followed by Liam with a 26.7 flat. That's now beaten by Boneshaw, who's done a 26 point. I like this number. Point 888.
Yes.
Like that. Very nice to see. Also for anyone that's, I know that no one here is from Australia, but there's a driver by the name of Jamie Whincup who used to run that sort of number, the 888. That he was famous for using that number in the world of V8 supercars in Australia. Luno goes to the top. Ashley now with a 126.6. So he
to
is.
the line, and it's a very disappointing lap for Michele, as they're, you know, quite a quick driver. And they've done a 133.1. So I'm going to take a guess. I think they've had a moment somewhere on track. Surely they can't be that slow.
No, I know. We all know that he's not that slow. I mean, it probably was just not a competitive lap. He is trying again. I can't see on my screen.
We'll keep on
So-
building then, shall we?
Yeah, so let's see. He heads up to the first sector. Oh,
That
oh
was
my
close.
God. He
I
had
think
a
he's backed off.
Mercedes right around that
Has he?
corner.
No, he's still going.
No,
I thought
he-
he backed off there. That was on the limit. That was quite close. I thought they were actually going to
Yeah.
make contact. I'm surprised they didn't. But now there's an Aston Martin ahead of the Alpine, which will get a nice tow. So if that Aston Martin doesn't move in the turns of 13 and 14 to 180R, you know, that's a really good tow if you think about it for that Alpine right now.
I think he meant 130R.
Yeah, 130R. Sorry,
But-
yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. Anyway, no, sometimes I can understand if it gets a bit confusing. But
Very
let's see,
confusing.
Michele. Anyway, to the test yet triangle. Michele goes through. He said it looks like a competitive middle sector.
Ooh.
Up to
Could
the
be
line he
fastest?
comes. Nah, he's
Five.
only fifth. But still, yeah. 128.8. But right now, Aston Martin looking really good at the top with Luna leading the way and Brandux just behind him.
You know what surprised
Which,
me about this season so far? You know how you asked me, you know, how I think the championship's going and how the racing action's going. What's crazy, right, is we saw at the start of the season that Brandox, we both said he doesn't really look like he would be a pacey driver to compete for maybe the top 3. And now we get like into round number 6 of this season, and he's now starting to get a little bit more confident and starting to show his true form. P2 at the moment, like you said, a double whammy for Aston Martin. But Brandox, he's really changed so far in this almost second half of the season, you could say.
Yeah, definitely qualifying. I have noticed he's definitely improved quite significantly. He's had 2 pole positions back at Silverstone and also in Austria last week, as a matter of fact. Last week in Austria, like, he didn't even set a lap time for a long time because he had connection issues, and then out of nowhere he just started to get pole position by just like nearly a tenth of a second. So we'll see how he will be. Right now he is P2, but not far off from his teammate. That is the main thing. So yeah, I think he could be definitely the one to watch for.
He definitely could. And what is surprising me is look at the gaggle of cars there in Sector 1 at turns, you could say 5 and 6. That is a mighty gaggle of drivers getting out early on pit. But now I believe Leo in PA17 is going to be starting a lap now as they cross the line with DRS open. I feel like they're going to struggle with the traffic that's ahead of them. I don't know about you, but I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. But they've got traffic ahead. But hopefully he doesn't hit it at that wrong mark and wrong point. But we'll find out how he gets as they're through the S section now. And he's not done too bad. That's a pretty good first part of the lap. Is it going to be purple, though, as we leave Sector 1 to Sector 2? And
he's up by nearly 2/10 of a second.
But yeah, like you said, he is up by 2/10. And the Aston Martin, almost like the Mercedes replay there, getting a bit close there, but moved out just out of time and stuff like that, as we've got the Alfa Romeo moving out the way. Of course, this is quite a tough circuit to oblige to room, but if there's massive runoffs, you should be able to, you know, politely move out of the way.
The McLaren beat him. Oh no!
Oh, did the McLaren get him there? He is still pushing.
He definitely was in the. He's still pushing, but he definitely was in the way.
Yeah.
He could have gone out of the. Who was that? That was Victor. And the other McLaren.
3/10
so
up
no
there in Sector 2.
Huh. I just realized, no Reservoir in this race. Interesting. Yeah, he unfortunately can't make it. Well, hurt us a little bit of his championship implications. Leo crosses the line. We'll set a 127.1, but yeah, I'm sure he's not very happy.
Nah,
Victor blocking his lap.
I think you're right. I think he did get impeded just slightly. As yellow
Julian,
flags.
Julian has crashed out at turn 1. I think.
That's yeah, I think it is. That's looking like it's going to be straight on. As they're back in the pit lane, so that's interesting.
He's gone off in the gravel. So his car was over at the gravel trap at turn 1. How on earth has he done that? Oh, you know what? I have a feeling of what he did. He must have used the outside curve at turn 1.
Yeah.
You know how there's a second layer of curves?
Yeah.
Oh dear, Matt Zozo goes quite sideways.
I saw that. I was like, is that going to be a collision? Is that going to be a spin? Is he going to manage that? And he did, surprisingly. Yeah,
he backs out of the lap. That's understandable because he was sideways as El Pilator goes to fourth with a 26.8. But yeah, so there's like a second layer of curves at turns 1 and 2. And what happens is if you do hit those curves, it can spit you out. As Belbabit goes to the top now with a 26.5.
That's pretty impressive, to be honest.
Yep. That was a very good lap indeed. Luna, though, unfortunately hasn't validated his lap time, so he was up by a 10, but unfortunately he cannot improve even further than that. Williams Liam goes to third.
Riding on board with Traduci at the moment, but I believe they're going to be coming in as they're backed off on that lap, so that's a bummer to be watching that superb lap, you could say, but they're going to be back into the pit lane. But they got a really good exit out of turn number, I want to say 14, right on the edge of track limits there. That was a little bit scary. I thought they were going to invalidate, but somehow they managed to stay within the white lines, which is quite impressive. But is there anyone else on our lap? I know I can see Janetsky's on our lap, but is there anyone ahead of him that might be on our lap at this moment?
I'm trying to see. Not really. Okay, Yanetsky though looks like he's backed off. I think he's already done a lap. As a matter of fact, he did a 26.7.
Probably the game. Yeah, it's the game telling me lies. It was saying that Janetsky was like a second up. I was like, damn, he's on a flyer. But no, that's EA telling me wrong.
Oh, can I just give me a second? I gotta make a phone call real quick.
That is all fine and good. I believe McKaylee is going to be starting a lap, or they are on a lap, or they're on a, should we say, out lap to start another lap. Everyone else at the moment pushing quite hard and probably going to be coming back into the pit lane to get a fresh set of tyres on with only a few minutes of qualifying to go. But we'll go on board with the Red Bull of Nicholas. Down in P17 at the moment, not too sure if they're on a lap. They look like they're pushing, so potential high hopes that we have a driver who's on a lap, which would be nice to see around this track. On the exit there of turn number 11 to now 12 and 13 and 14, not too bad as Brandox in the Aston Martin goes to pole position with a 126.4, not far off. Belbeby is not far off, shall I say, off Brandox. That's pretty impressive there, but separated by not a big gap, to be honest. We have a look at about a 10th that separates the top two, so not a big enough gaps as Nicholas looks like they backed off of their lap, or they were actually on an in lap. But it looked like they were pushing, but it happens, you know. You get a bit confused and you have to move on. But at the moment, looking through and flicking through the garage and grid and elsewhere, there is one driver, Matsu, on a outlap at the moment with a potential fresh set of tyres with about 3 minutes and something to go of qualifying. And I've seen that Pravatox is currently in P12, also on an outlap. So 2 drivers on the track right now to start pushing quite hard to see if they can improve on position, as this can be quite a marginal grid for qualifying at Japan, as you can't really make any major errors really. Like, if you think about it, you got to be stern on the throttle, braking, trail braking. You've also got to be stern on keeping within the white lines, not having any back end loss, just generally keeping it together and not having any major moments, because you have that slight moment, you are losing a couple of tenths. But let's go on board with the McLaren driver as he goes down into turns 1, 2 and 3, and then through that tricky left-hander, right-hander S section. Yellow flags as someone is slowing down quite rapidly, and I believe it might be a Williams driver. Oh, never mind, it's going to be the Alpine driver. I always get those colours mixed up. No idea why, but it happens. But so far, the McLaren on a lap, about to go to sector 2. Is he up on his time? He's about a 10th up on his time, so that's not too bad from Matsu at the moment. Let's see if they can improve on position and improve on their time. Coming up to the tricky hairpin now, turn 11, where you want to go a little bit wide on entrance, but then go in sharp and then get a wide exit again for better traction and better momentum. Now, down into the tricky section, which is going to be turns number 13 and 14. Obviously, back in F122, you hit that clip, you clip that curb there, and there as well. Your car goes spinning, so luckily in this game now, traction improved, and driver ability and confidence through the roof, and able to put the foot down a little bit more. Yeah, really good, as he's gone purple in sector 2. Not too sure if that's going to be a potential improvement, but if it is, then that's pretty impressive. Sector 2 by Matsu right there. 2 tenths up on his time right now, about to exit and come to the start and finish line. What's it going to be? Is it going to be a challenge for pole position? He goes to P3, a 126.5. That is very mighty and very impressive. On board now with the Ferrari man of Pravatox, about a 10th up at the moment, but I believe he has backed off. Indeed he has, as he had a horrible exit, and that is him done and dusted. Back off now, cool the tyres down, save a bit of battery and fuel, and we'll challenge and go again. And we're going to ride on board with, I believe it's going to be Dominic, but I could be wrong. It could be the Haas who is leading the way, which might be Leo, and it is going to be Leo as he starts his final qualifying lap here at Japan. Currently, both Haas cars 15th and 14th. If they want to get into the top 10 to find a little bit more of a comfortable starting grid order and points playing position, that's where they've got to be. So we'll see how they get on and flick through and see who's improving and who's not improving. And yeah. Basically, Tommy, me and KZ are very unsure what actually happened with the Ferrari driver. All we saw is he went straight on at turn number 1 and he retired and crashed. So I don't know if that was him getting distracted or if that was just his game bugging out, but we looked at turn 1 and the Ferrari was in the wall. Well, that's what we made out, the assumption that he was in the wall. But we'll come back to that in just a second, as Leo is slightly up on their lap time, as Matsu has retired from the session because they are done and dusted for qualifying. They'll hopefully be starting P3 if anybody else can't improve on their lap time. But look at that from the Haas. 3/10 up in Sector 2. Going purple, going a little bit faster than that McLaren driver in Sector 2. Is he going to be able to stick it in the top 3 or potentially pole position right now up to the line? It's only P6, a 126.7, a mighty lap there from himself. And Leo will be very chuffed and very happy with that, as Dominic only P15, a 127.028. The second McLaren driver across the line, Victor, a 126.9. The Mercedes now of Broccoli, I think that's how you say her name, across the line, P13, a 126.8. The Red Bull across the line, Rixie, P4, a 126.6. Alpine across the line, are they going to find an improvement on position? And I don't believe they do. Struducci will start P16, a 126.9. And as more drivers get faster and come to the end of their qualifying laps, it becomes as Paradox has found a lot of pace there and a lot of time. Not far off P1 there, P2, a 126.4 mega lap there from Ferrari. He'll be very happy with that one. I believe it's going to be not Boom Pie as he has invalidated. And Nathan will cross the line to go P10, 22 thousandths of a second improvement, and 126.7 as we had a driver go into the wall there. Probably not happy with their lap time, which I can understand. But Nicholas goes across the line to P15, a 126.8. Anybody else able to find any more time? And I believe that will be a no. Janetski's into the pit lane. What about Liam, though? Liam currently in P7, but they're in the pits. So that is basically qualifying done and dusted. And that got very intense and very exciting towards the end of that. Now it's time for the race, where everything boils down and can get interesting. But what I did notice there from Nathan, he did get a 5-second time penalty for illegal blocking. So I'm just going to double check to make sure it's not a lobby restart. If it is, do bear with. That does take a few mementos. But if it isn't, we will get straight into the race-o. So let me have a look-see with what is going on. And yeah, Tommy, like I said, I've got a little bit of AI racing down to turn 1. Absolutely amazing there. But yeah, like me and KD saw, we saw the Ferrari crash at turn 1, but we don't know what caused it. It looked like a crash. That's what the assumption is. But there's 2 drivers with a 5-second time penalty, and that's Nathan and also Luno. So it could potentially be a lobby restart. I'm having a look through. But as we wait for confirmation, P1 and 2 separated by 77 thousandths of a second. That is crazy between top 1 and 2. And then when you look down the rest of the grid, about a 10th between 3rd and 4th there, quite close on lap times. 2/10, 3/10, and we'll scroll all the way down to the end. And everybody is within a second once again. An awesome qualifying session. I'm going to double check what is going on. And have you returned, KD, or are you still...
I'm back. I'm back.
Amazing. You missed a very intense qualifying session, I'll tell you that right now. It was very intense.
She whiz. I'm very sorry. Yeah, no, it's just... had a little bit of a wallet emergency, I guess. My mother lost her wallet, I suppose. What's going on here? Why are we leaving? Did something happen?
Basically, Nathan and Luno got a 5-grid place penalty for illegal blocking.
Oh, for God's sake, again? Gee whiz. Another
Yeah.
place penalty.
So it looks like we're getting a
So that
quick
means we're
lobby
leaving.
restart.
Alright.
It does
Well, you know
happen,
what?
unfortunately. Go on.
Well, you know what? I guess since we have a little bit of downtime, why don't you tell me exactly what happened in qualifying then?
Well,
Give me a little bit of a rundown.
it was just, all singing and dancing for Aston Martin, It was all going well for them. That was all done and dusted. And then having a look at the lap timing screens now, as we're just waiting, obviously, to get back into the lobby and get that invite out and sorted. Let me have a look here. So, surprisingly and happily, one in the Aston Martins do stay on pole position, and that was Brandox with the fastest lap time of a 1:26.4, I believe, which I'll tell you what, that is pretty close. Do you know why that was intense? Are you ready? Pravatox,
Yeah.
P2. So, I'll remind you, Brandox a 1:26.4, Pravatox a 1:26.4 as well. 77 thousandths of a second. That is the gap to P1 and P2, which is pretty close. And then
Wow.
P3 and 4
Okay.
were pretty close on time as well. Couldn't really get the calculations of what it was, but they were very, very close. And then the rest of the grid, time started to come down just a little bit. I believe P5 and 6 were separated by about 20 thousandths of a second. That was also crazy. So lap times were quite close and quite on the margin to the end, but everyone within a second all the way down to P20. So that's what was awesome about that part. But pole position was just almightily on the line, on the cusp, you could say. Absolutely crazy. Like, I was not expecting that, I obviously, like I said, we were both expecting a double Aston Martin 1 and 2, but there you are. One of them are on pole position, but the other, unfortunately, dropped down just a little bit, which was just insane. But Pravatox getting the lap time in, but not able to get on pole position, but not far off it.
Jeez.
It was,
Wow.
it was crazy. It was a lot of excitement to contain and try and keep up with everything on the track.
Well, so there you go. Brando's on pole for what, the third time in this season? That's crazy.
It is.
And that's the second pole in a, and it's the second pole in a row. Because like I said last week, he got it at Austria. But yeah, no, that's very good for him. Indeed, gained some qualifying results.
Yeah, I think he's
But,
getting more confident with the car as well. That's why.
Well, hopefully he can translate that into the race for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. That'd be an awesome battle to watch. About turn 1, if they both get an even start, who will be late on the brakes and who's going to be bravest? Are they both going to try and go wheel to wheel, or if they attempt it, could they cause a collision, which they don't want to do? So who's going to be the risky taker, as we saw back in, I believe it was 2022, but that was obviously in wet conditions between Max and Charles. But even in the wet, you saw them both go wheel to wheel at turn 1, and they weren't backing off. But Max was ever so slightly later on the brakes and managed to get through and defend that P1. So, yeah, that was pretty impressive, to be honest.
I think there's another moment that you haven't mentioned, though, for anyone that's an old F1 fan. 1988, Senna, or no, what was it, 1990 between Senna and Prost at turn 1 on that very first lap. When Senna tried to go for a gap. Well, except he quote-unquote went for a gap, but we all know what his implication was that year in 1990. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And, Prost and him came together. Well, same thing at Castro Triangle, 1989. They came together at that same corner. Senna was later disqualified for, shoot, what did he do again? Oh, yeah, he cut the triangle, Castro Triangle. Yeah, because you're not allowed to do that. Yeah, so he was disqualified for that race.
Damn,
lost the
that
championship
is
to Cross.
crazy, that is. I mean, things happen, don't they? If you cut a corner, you're going to get penalised for it,
Well, I mean, you know the thing is too. You know how like back in the days, with Senna and Prost, going at each other all the time back in the late '80s, early '90s.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Imagine if social media, like how social media is with Verstappen and um, Lewis, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Imagine if social media was around the time of Prost and Senna.
You know
Imagine
what?
that.
I'll tell you what. I would not want to imagine that because that would just be absolute utter carnage. That would just. Oh, that is just the carnage. Like, oh, he's the better driver. No, he's the better driver. Oh, we should have given the space. He should have given the space. He deserves racing room. That would just be like the #1 trend 2 years in a row. Betting it right now. 100%.
Oh yeah, no, I remember having that conversation with a friend of mine about that. It's like, yeah, no, social media at that time, and if it was Senna versus Prost, would have had social media explode.
Yeah.
Like, mostly with Brazilians just backing Senna. Well, of course, because the Brazilians back then treated Senna as like, a national hero, which is fair enough. I mean, of course, Senna was the best driver Brazil I think has ever had. But yeah, I just can't imagine that if that were to take place back in that time. If like Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook or TikTok would have existed then. Gosh.
Yeah, that would just be utter chaos and probably would have probably would have got out of control. To be honest, you know. It would
Oh,
have
what?
gotten
Oh,
out of
100%.
control.
Oh, you kidding me? It would have. I honestly think it would have been worse if it was worse than Verstappen and Lewis in 2021. Like
Yeah.
with social media and stuff, with the Verstappen and Hamilton fans.
Oh, 100%. You know, if it was back then, I think if Elon Musk was owning Twitter back then, I think he'd be
Or
pulling
X as
his.
it's called.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I mean X. I mean X now. Yeah. I think Elon Musk would be pulling his hair out. But yeah.
Uh,
I can't get used to the X. Like, to be honest, right?
yeah, right.
I
Yep.
can't get like I don't understand. Like, you got Twitter, you got the Twitter bird, and also that's been around for like a very long time, if you get what I mean. But going
Yeah.
from Twitter to X, like, okay, I'm gonna go and post a social post on X. It sounds lame. It really does sound lame.
Oh yeah, not only that, apparently that's also copyrighted. Because there's a website involving X or something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but I can tell you like the logo that they used is used from another company that uses a website.
Uh-oh.
Well, yeah. So yeah, Elon's really well, and then Elon also had the nerve to pull a big lighted X on the top of the Twitter building, and it gave a lot of people complained that it was giving them epilepsy and stuff, which I mean, of course, because there was an apartment across that building. Yeah, I probably would imagine there would have been a lot of complaints
Oh
back
yeah,
then.
100%. I could defo agree with that, you know. But hey,
Yeah.
Elon is a billionaire. He can pretty much do
Yeah.
what he wants to do.
Whatever he wants. Yeah. I mean, he took the sign down, thankfully. But yeah.
That's the good part about it. But as I could see on my screen, we've got 15 seconds to get into the lovely lobby for some awesome racing action around a very, very tough circuit.
Yeah. No more talking rubbish now. It's time to get to the racing, I guess. Shall we?
Yes, we shall indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking so much rubbish for like the last 10 to 15 minutes. Well, I mean, I appreciate you covering me there for a little while
Nah, that's
as
fine,
well.
you know.
Well,
I think
while I
the
was on
chat
the phone
appreciates
call.
it too. I bet you the chat agree with us about the whole Twitter thing and whatever we're on about as well. They 100% agree. No debate on that.
Yeah. Nah, I don't think they mind a little bit of rubbishness from
Even
any of
Dominic
us.
agrees on the chat. There you are. He
Ah,
agrees.
Thank you.
We get approved.
That's
And not long to get some racing action at Japan.
well, at least the coordinator likes it. I guess.
That's a good thing. That is a
Cool.
good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, Dom Nielsen is one of the coordinators for this tier, by the way. But yeah,
Ooh, very
if
nice.
you want to know in our audience. So what was it? Clear from what I've seen? Yes.
Yes, I can have
Clear
a double
skies.
check whilst you. Oh, actually, no. What? I'll hand over to you for the race start, and I'll have a look to see if there's going to be any rain. But I believe you are correct, and it is clear. But I will double check for you.
Ah, no worries. Yeah, you can see the cars all lined up on the grid on the right-hand side, getting ready, of course. And we'll get started for the start of the Japanese Grand Prix here at Suzuka Circuit. I believe it's 27 laps to come about here at Suzuka. And yeah, only one DR zone that these drivers are able to use, and that's obviously where they're sitting right now down the main straight, which will lead into the first corner. Probably a primary overtaking spot, but of course we got others like the Kobayashi hairpin and of course the 130R corner. Yeah, if you don't know why there's an R in one of those, like the 200R, 130R, that's because that's the degree radius of the corner that they measured it in. Pretty clever, pretty unique. I actually like how they call it that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but yeah, I can
From the
confirm
Japanese.
100% drive for this race.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Alright, well, hopefully we'll get going soon. I'm probably assuming just everyone's just getting their strats out about and all ready to go.
What do you think of strategy-wise, actually saying that?
Well, I remember the commentary for another race actually just a few days ago around this same place. I saw a few people go on the softs or the mediums to start off the race, but I have a feeling we might have just see the opposite. We might see a few drivers on the mediums, maybe some drivers on the hards, like we have seen normally in other races. But maybe we'll see a couple drivers on the softs to, gamble. Maybe go for a soft hard, soft medium.
I can
Which
confirm.
I guess.
I've looked at the race director, and there's a lot of cars on those soft tyres. I can tell you that right now. A lot of soft tyres I'm seeing.
Interesting.
Very.
Well,
What's tyre degger like around this track?
I cannot remember, to be honest. I don't think it's too harsh around Suzuka in previous times, but we'll wait and see. But anyway, we've got 5 red lights for the start of the race, and we're lights out, and away we go for the Japanese Grand Prix. It's a good start for the Brandox and AlphaTauri going alongside the Haas as they make their way up towards turn 1. It's Provatox to the inside, Belmobi down the inside of Rakes. He takes the lead, Provatox does, into the first corner, trying to. But Brandox is not giving it up as they make their way through the S section. Brandox with the inside line in turn 4. He gets in front, he's up into the lead. Provatox in second, Belmobi in third. Riggs in fourth, followed by Matt Zozo in fifth. A little bit of shuffling towards the back. Dominic Nielsen going down to last place. As now make their way through Dana Curve and up towards turn 9. So far, everyone getting through relatively.
Ooh,
Oh
there's a
no,
crash
I was
behind.
going to say relatively fine. Oh, damage! Carnage towards the
Oh,
back.
wow.
Cars going off, and a safety car has been deployed. Damage all the way towards the back.
Ooh.
Elpator, Yanetsky, and I think that was Boomsha as well getting involved. The 2 Alfa Romeos and an AlphaTauri getting involved there from a spinning Boomsha. They try to avoid it. I don't think they could have done anything about that. Damage as well for one of the Red Bulls. That was Nicholas Boyd to the Brazilian getting involved. Deary me. Yeah, damage everywhere you look towards the back of the field.
Both Alfa Romeos confirmed damage on their cars. I would say the AlphaTauri's got damage, but riding on board with that Mercedes, I can't see any possible damage. So the AlphaTauri may just be in luck with surprisingly no damage. But any ideas who caused it? I saw a car go deep,
Well,
but I didn't catch who it was.
I saw Boomsha slide off at turn 9. I don't know if he was tagged or if he made a mistake on his own, because I didn't get a correct camera angle on that. But I don't know. As Jar's already coming into the pit lane, quite early stops actually. So we got Liam into the pits, Nathan as well. Some soft tires on this race, like you mentioned. Medium tires have to go for Nathan, and a front wing change. I guess a lot of these drivers must have suffered damage. There was a lot of carbon fiber that was flung up into the air.
Oh.
They must have been caught in all that incident there at turn 9. I'm probably assuming.
Well, I'll tell you
It's a
what.
double step for Williams.
The best part about this race so far, even though we've got a safety car on lap 2 with some carnage at turn number, I believe it's 9, or in the exit around there. Can we just talk about turn 1, lap 1, P1 and P2? That was mega. When Paradox went up the inside, I thought, okay, Brandox will back off a little bit and let the Ferrari go through. As of you can see, they're on the quicker tyre. But then I didn't expect Brandox to actually fight back, get a bit more comfortable, be a bit more aggressive, and take P1 back. I don't know if that was Paradox potentially being a little bit protective and just backing off. But Brandox, not the best getaway, but defending like a lion, and in P1, that was crazy. He just, no words I can think of right now. Just amazed, so clean and just fantastic that was.
Now we saw the same story with Bella and Riggs going side by side at turn 1 as well. So yeah, I can confirm also the pit stops, they were all front wing changes, and they were involving 9 drivers: Nicholas Boita, Nathan, Leo, Victor, Liam, Brokey, Yanetsky, Dominic Nielsen, and El Pilator. All had front wing damage from that whole bit of accident that happened at turn 9. I didn't quite catch all that bit, I guess, from the other cars. I just saw mainly like 4 or 5 cars off at turn 9. But like I said, I didn't get the best of angles. But yeah, those were the drivers that had to pit, obviously, for front wing damage.
Yeah.
Sustained on that lap. Boonsha somehow got away with it after spinning off. But yeah, no, also there was an incident involving Liam and Boomsha, which resulted in Liam getting a collision warning. So he was really the main cause of what happened at turn 9. So it might be looked at by the stewards,
That's what I was going to say. A penalty could be on the way, but there's another Alfa Romeo into the pit lane. But it switched to the hard tyres now. So getting all those softs onto the hards, could they potentially be going to the end of this race? We'll find out. If they are, things will start to get interesting and a little bit spicy towards the end. But, you know, like everyone says, there's still a long way to go. So don't doubt that for the Alfa Romeo and P20 at the moment, as he'll have to catch up to the grid. And if he catches up in Sector 1, potentially before Sector 3, safety car should be in this lap, as it's already been out 2 laps. So technically it should be in on approach to lap number 4, if that makes somewhat sense. But I'm not too sure, because the safety car, when everyone's caught up and bunched up, will say, yeah, we're going in, and then be like, nah, fam, we're not coming in today. We'll come in another day, basically. So that's what's going to happen. That's what we're probably going to see. So, like I say, we'll just wait and see and hope for the best.
Yeah, we'll wait and see, I guess. But yeah, El Patora, like you said, on the hard compound tire. But yeah, I think he's going to try to go to the end. It's definitely something that he can take, because the hard tire actually is not too bad as a tire that doesn't wear off too badly around Suzuka. It's actually a pretty decently good distance tire. It's not the grippiest. Obviously, we know it's not the grippiest tire. The hard tire's the worst tire of them all. But I probably would say the best tire to use would be, excuse me, I cannot speak English. Best tire to use probably would be the mediums, I would imagine. But yeah, 3 drivers on the hards apart from El Pator. You have the leader on the hards, and same with Luna. So both Aston Martins are gambling on the same strategy, which is very interesting, as we've got the safety car now coming in this lap. The Aston Martin safety car, coincidentally, coming in this lap. So now we'll see how Brandox does here.
Yeah, we do indeed. And having a look at a launch, he has gone and dusted. Paradox not far behind, though. Not a bad reaction to him. So on the run down to turn 1, we might actually have the Ferrari Julian trying to get past the Aston Martin here at turn 1. Has he got enough speed and power? He's going to try, and he backs out of it.
No,
and the Aston Martin,
quite.
Luno, stays P7 for now. But Luno kind of struggling on those hard tyres on the restart. So he's got pressure from the Ferrari behind. So we'll see how they get on. And basically just hope for the best and see what they can do and how they can perform. And as we know, it's a tough track to overtake, so your main overtake opportunity is going to be that start and finish straight.
Yeah, so far it looks like everyone's gone through relatively fine. No further incidents from what I can see, at least. But yeah, Brandox, he just needs to keep that Ferrari at bay. He was on the soft tire. If he could do that, that's not going to help. He runs deep there, Kobe actually hairpin. Leaves the door open, but he has the traction actually to keep in front Interesting. I didn't think that would actually happen. I thought the Ferrari would have actually better traction considering he's on the soft tire.
About to
No,
say
he
we've
had
got a
a-
spicy battle for P3 and 4 at the moment. I don't know if we're running on board with that, but oh, it's getting a bit close, those two. I believe, I think it was Belboby who tried to make a move or tried to defend as the Red Bull tried to get up and actually
Oh,
got wheel to
Provotox
wheel at
down the inside.
130R.
Yeah, he tried. He couldn't get past there at the. Oh, but
Oh,
the Aston Martin ran a bit deep there at the Casio triangle. He tried to go for it at 130, like you said. Luna gets past Michele there, up to 6. And Belboby sets the fast
Here we
lap.
go,
That's
then.
not beaten by Luna with a 30.9. Now,
Wheel to
yeah,
wheel
a
at
lot of
turn
fast
one.
laps coming through. Yes, Provotox taking the inside line. He gets the lead now of the Japanese Grand Prix. On the soft tire, he now needs to make a gap ahead of the Aston Martin, pull away as best he can, and make the
100%.
use out of him.
just needs to run
Yeah.
away now. And also, Rigsy in P4 needs to start making positions and gains and go, go, go. And hopefully, as we know, he's a fast driver. So he's on that soft compound tyre, lap number 5. And like I said, he needs to make ground now and he needs to start pushing a bit aggressive and get his elbows out.
That's a bit so. Gee whiz, that was sideways there from Riggs. He might not be liking the car at the moment at turn 9, and that's opening the door for Matos to go down the inside Kobayashi hairpin. But he couldn't get the move done there at turn 11. He has to stay behind as they make their way through 200R. A little bit of a George Morgan line there saying go, go, go. Because that's normally what he says off the start. I figured as much. Hey, George, if you do watch this, I hope you get a good chuckle at it if you do end up watching this race. But, yeah, so far, no. So far everyone's going through relatively fine. Yeah, the Aston Martins, though, still in the hard tires, of course. That's the same strategy like I mentioned before. Everyone getting through 130R. No DRS enabled yet. Oh, that's like C as well. Oh, a little bit of a pylon there that's gone off. Actually, that was a bollard, not a pylon. That's up NFL football. As I think Victor's starting to get a little interested in Brokey, and same with Yanetsky, who's starting to overtake the McLaren there down the main straight.
I mean,
Meanwhile, though, towards the front. Sorry, go
I
on.
was gonna say it's quite interesting because obviously you said about that the Ferrari driver in P1 trying to run away, and he's not able to do that on the soft tire. So is he already struggling with tire temps, or just Provotox just not have the pace to run away here? As like you said, that Red Bull just seems to be ever so slightly struggling, which isn't ideal, but I think Matsu will be passed sooner or later, as that Michele in P6 is looking a bit hungry for P5. That was late on the brakes for the Alpine there. Could we see a move by them shortly? We definitely can, and they are gaining ever so slightly each lap.
We'll wait and see. Yeah, no, has not been able to pull off a margin there. As Provotox, he's going to have Brandox right in the back of him with DRS soon. But yeah, he's got a good amount of battery. Provotox, though, does not. He's got 24%. He is in a little bit of trouble, as I can see here for sure. As they now make their way through the Casio triangle. See here, he's gonna line up a move here. Yep, there you go. There's the rear wing.
Well.
That should be
That's
straightforward here for the Aston Martin. Yep,
Yeah.
there you go.
Literally just nothing
Gets
the
it
Ferrari
before
can
the
do
corner.
there.
Yeah, I think he might be struggling a bit on those tires. I probably would imagine. Say as the Williams car swap places there in 18th and 19th. But yep, pretty much now Brandox in a prime, excuse me, a prime position from what it looks like.
And I'm just surprised that Red Bull is just struggling. Like, we see Rigsy, up in the top 3, but, normally up in P1, normally pushing to the limit as hard as he can. But so far, he's not able to do that, as we saw Nathan right now get up into P10, as we've got a spin there.
And a spinning, that's
That's
Brokey at turn
Mercedes.
9.
Brokey
Yep,
indeed.
Brokey's gone
So
off.
that was a bit of you could say a lazy spin there by the Mercedes, which is quite interesting. But no, as I was saying, Nathan up into P10 and ahead of his teammate. I think there's a bit of team orders, bit of a switcheroo there. As Strodusi right now, still have trouble pronouncing that name, don't know why, is right behind Boom Pie, and he's trying to, get close as he potentially can. But that Haas is putting some mighty pressure on right now. or should I say the Haas and the Red Bull as well, you could say, all into 130R. No one really getting off the throttle there, and it could get a bit messy on the exit here. So let's see how we get on, and if anyone survives in one piece, we'll find out very, very shortly. But now the massive straight with DRS, which is really, really useful. Who's got the battery power? Who's got the lower wings? Head down to turn 1, and look at Shadusi up into P11 for the time being. There's a bit of contact though, and he's off. He is off.
Oh dear, dear. Contact between him and Booch. Oh, his Booch nearly rejoined a little bit awkwardly there. Oh dear, that was a bit of a Alonso Grosjean sort of impression there from 2012.
Yeah.
If I'm totally honest, but yeah, that was not a very good there for Shadusi for sure. I'm sure that's gonna be looked at. I would imagine.
100% it has to be looked into
just-
because they both
Yeah,
moved, or they both wiggled, and then all of a sudden, poof, they just collided.
I don't think he might have given them the room, if I'm totally honest, at Boomshow when they weren't down towards the first corner. So yeah, that probably will be looked at. Julian, though, meanwhile, is trying to bring pressure on Luno. Can we say also Julian has gained 12 positions since the start of this race? He's started from last, I think. He's right now in 8th. He's doing a
12?
very good job.
That's impressive. 12 positions. Wow.
Yeah, no, he's been doing absolutely superb. He's on the medium tire as well, mind you, as well. Oh,
Well,
sure
I'll
did. I
say,
think it's just spun again.
Bell
Yep.
will be now right behind that Ferrari. I think the Ferrari of Pravatox is now struggling on the soft tyres. Down to turn 1. There's nothing that Ferrari could do in a straight line. He is defenseless. So I think he's running probably a little bit more downforce for the corners. And that Mercedes just blitzed by as we see Janetsky get up into P13 now. And that's an AlphaTauri going off track. And I think that's Boom. He was trying to get around the McLaren there, but I think he ran out of space as the Williams got a bit uneven there. That was Nelson behind, and his teammate Liam put him a bit under pressure.
Yeah, Dominic Nielsen only had a moment there coming out of turn 2. I just noticed the back end just stepping out quite significantly. But yeah, I think what Provotox needs to do now is get in the pits and get off of those tires, because the more he stays out, the more he's gonna struggle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the best hope he can do is go onto the hard tire. You don't want to go in the mediums. I
mean,
mediums,
that is your best bet.
Okay.
That's not a bad idea, as both Williams get up to P15 and 16 now, ahead of the Alfa Romeo. I don't know if the Alfa Romeo had a moment there, or they just somehow blitzed by, but they seem to be working together, but maybe not, because they seem to be a bit close, and I think they're actually fighting and jockeying for position, which is quite interesting. But saying that, and that Williams or Liam has really backed off there to let the Alfa Romeo go through again, so that was interesting, unless that was planned out to plan, you know, to get DRS or something on this lap, but you never know. But there's someone into the pit lane, and that's McKaylee on the soft tyre very early, but maybe not, as those softs could be possibly doo-doo, just dead. So he's in the pit lane with the hard tyres, potentially to the end of this race. P16 on exit, potentially.
Yep, 2 cars are also falling as well.
Yeah, Liam and Boom as well into the pits, getting off those soft tyres, and they're going for the medium compound. And that is quite interesting, but I say that Liam is on the hards, so Boom on the mediums. They can get to the end, because we saw with Nicholas Longate, if you watched the stream, I don't know if you did, KD, but everyone on the grid started on like the soft medium tyres, I believe, and then went to the hards. But Nicholas boxed around lap 10 or 11, I believe, and managed to make the mediums last till the end of the race, which was absolutely crazy to get his first win. That was just phenomenal to watch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember he had to hold off a charging Jan Altmaier, if I remember correctly, for like the entirety of that second half race. Yeah, nearly made George Mogan's mind explode for a little while.
I do remember that. That was quite crazy. I was like, is that me? Or it was like, is George Morgan breaking his decibel at the moment, as we see the Mercedes looking for a move there, which is a little bit spicy, and Brandox maybe, just maybe, struggling on those hards now, as Belbelby is picking up the pace. And that is correct. Not Belbelby. Pravatox, like you said, is into the pit lane, and Belbelby into P1, blitzing by that Aston Martin. Where is Pravatox going to come out? Is he going to come out ahead of the Williams and potentially Boom as well. We'll have to wait and see. As Janetsky's also in. He should just about. It might be tight on exit though. We might be ahead of
You might
McKaylee
wanna
at this
keep an
point
eye
as
on the
well.
Alpine. You will be ahead of McKaylee just about.
Yeah, but I say
So
just
he's
that,
got-
that is quite tight.
Yeah. I think that's the car you were trying to focus on, but yeah, nah, he's in front of him now. He's got clear air as well, so he can try to put the hammer down as best he can
Yeah.
and get good laps on the board. Massozo has lost a couple of positions there at turn 9 and destroyed his front wing in the process.
Yeah, he's got
He
no
must
wing.
have made. Has he made contact with the Ferrari at turn 8 and 9? That's probably my rough guess. Because he
I mean,
lost 2 positions at the exit of turn 9, I
You
noticed.
could say that, but I swear, I don't know if that was my eyes playing up, but I saw no yellow flags. So, that is quite interesting. But right
Well,
now,
Nathan's gonna get through him now.
what's
Hello.
hurting this race so far is the Red Bull of Riggs. Why on earth, if he's struggling on those tyres, why is he not coming to the pit lane just yet? He must
Well,
be crying for help right now.
Well, let's
And
see.
I
I
say
think he'll
that,
be.
He is
No,
still
he stays
staying
out for another
out.
lap.
As Bumblebee now comes in, and someone's left the session. That's
Williams
Liam
left the sesh.
and Bumblebee as well, who's left. I'm riding on board.
Hold on. Wait, hold on.
McKaylee's
Is this
left.
a. McKaylee's left the session as well. Bumblebee's down to 20th. That's not correct.
On my screen,
Uh,
Bumblebee's in third.
On my screen, he's in last.
Oh no,
have-
what's
I have-
going on?
I think we have a bit of a lobby mix up here. Hold on.
I mean, on
Um,
my screen, it's
well,
okay.
Okay, my top 5 right now. There you go. Now Bumblebee's back in 5th. He was in 20th on my screen.
Oh, we gotta love EA. You gotta love him. Come on, you got to give him a shout to EA. Like, absolutely splendorous. But elsewhere on the grid, as some players have disconnected, so fingers crossed they can get back into that lobby. But right now, we've got, I think it's the Williams getting through up into P8, setting a charge to Leo right
charge.
now.
Good.
And
That's
Nicholas
good.
defending from Victor behind. And that is Bumblebee losing more positions, which they do not need, as that will really, really screw their race over. And yeah, but both, I'd say both, but never mind. Leo right on the gearbox of that AlphaTauri right now as we make our way out the final chicane to the start and finish for DRS. And Nathan will get the upper hand here. The Red Bull rig is into the pit lane for those medium compound tyres. But Nathan, there's nothing he can do on that straight. And the Haas flies by into P4 on those medium tyres. And they are about 11 lap old medium tyres. The top 2 ahead right now on 12 lap old hard tyres. Provisionally, I'm seeing it's a 1-2 Aston Martin, which I think they'll be
moment,
very
yeah,
happy with. But Julien
Yep. So,
is catching ever so quickly behind on those medium tyres. Maybe those hards aren't working because they seem to be just ever so slightly a little bit too slow.
well, also while we were looking at that as well, Riggs is now behind Provatox by 3.3 seconds. Medium tires though is what he's got on, so he'll be looking to make a charge to get closer to Provatox. I know that probably there'll be a lineup in under. Oh, hang on a minute, as we've got yellow flags. That's
Someone
sector
round.
2.
I think that's
That
Stradici.
isn't. That's Straduzzi, the other Alpine that is spun at turn 9. He gets the car going again. No damage from what I can tell in the Alpine, but yeah, he's dropped a few spots, unfortunately there. But yeah, I'm gonna guess these leaders though they're gonna have to respond quickly because
Surely,
yeah,
you would say. You would think
Provatox
so,
will-
wouldn't you?
well, here's the thing though too is that as Dominic and Bumblebee got 5-second penalty, virtual safety car's
Oh,
been
wow.
deployed.
Oh, no, 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 no. That really screws over the top 2. That could have been their time to
Oh.
box. Oh,
Oh, dear.
no. What was that virtual
Well,
safety car
Dominic's
for, though?
That's what I don't know. I'm trying to look
Well,
and see
I
if
was
anyone
actually-
did damage.
I was riding on board with Dominic, and actually they've got no front wing. Do you know why they've got no front wing exiting the pit lane? Because when they came to the entrance of the pit lane,
that must have
they
occurred
drove
there.
into the
That's right.
wall. So
Oh,
they lost their
that's
front wing, so
it.
that must have brought it out.
So there's a
Oh.
retire in the pits and a drive-through penalty for Brokey, I believe, for that as well. Did they not fix Dominic Nielsen's? Dominic Nielsen does not have
No.
a front wing,
No,
and
they didn't
Belbaby's.
fix it.
Okay, this has been interesting. Belbaby's actually left, retired on
DNF.
track. Yeah, he retired on track.
Interesting. I do know now if you quit the main menu, it will retire you on track. So that's quite interesting, but it's quite a substantial, interesting race. So I'm just gonna hold fire on cars for a second. I'm just gonna have the F7 general chat up just in case we are being called for a restart. But I don't think we are, as there are yellow flags once again for drivers retiring. And Brandox is in the pit lane right now with 3 cars off the track. But he's going to get swallowed up here because that VSC has really screwed him over. And his teammate leads the way in P1, Luno, on those older hard tyres with a very fast Ferrari at the moment in P2 chasing him down. As Nathan now into P3 on fresher tyres.
Robertox now takes the provisional lead.
13 laps.
Riggs is in provisional second. Brandox is down to provisional third at this rate.
That's actually not a bad exit there for the Aston Martin in a gaggle of cars. So, in my opinion, that's pretty smart. But he's got to remember that he's on the fresher tyres as well, Brandox is. So he just plays it smart, plays it chill. Don't burn up too much rubber. And he'll be flying through the field as lap time is slowly running out.
Yeah, we got about 13 more laps left into this race. Yeah, we're over the halfway mark already. Or almost, I think almost over the halfway mark. But yeah. Yeah, so Brandox is gonna need to put the pedal to the metal pretty much. He's now within a second of Riggs, so he will be able to get DRS if he can keep it within underneath that 1 second range. His goal really though is to catch the Ferrari. That's the target for him. He's right now in front of him by just about over 5 seconds. So he needs to get a move on quickly as Luno, his teammate, is now into the pit. So he'll go onto the medium tires to the end of the race. And Julian will now take the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. Nathan takes second. Alpator continues to go on for another lap. And here comes the Ferrari. He'll take fourth away
Here
from
comes
the
Aston
cars in the pit
Martin.
lane.
That's turn 1, and he flies by that Red Bull. Nothing, like I always say, nothing the Red Bull could have done there at turn 1. And the Aston Martin of Brandox, he is flying, and he is coming back and pouncing back, potentially, for that P1. And maybe Luno, also on fresher tyres than his teammate by a lap or 2. And fresher tyres than the rest of the drivers up ahead. This could be a potential Aston Martin 1-2, if they play it right here and play it safe.
Can you show tires on your screen, please?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah.
There are tires.
They're asked. Yeah, they wanted it in the chat.
Nah, that's
Cool.
fine. It's all good. There it is. There are your lovely tires. So, at the moment, the Ferrari, 15 lap old hards, medium, sorry, and you got Nathan with 14 old medium tires. I don't know how to say that name in P3. With 13 lap old hards.
Alpator.
Alpator, there we go. Promotox with 5, Brandox with only 1 lap fresher. Tyres, like fresh, fast-paced tyres. He's got the grip, he's got the pace at the moment, and the advantage. And Luno on fresher tyres than his teammates. So those are your tyres, and yeah, it's a bit of a mix-up grid. I'm trying to think if Nathan and the Ferrari man may try and stray out. If they do, it could be quite interesting towards the end of the race, with obviously grip-wise and everything else. So it could get a little bit interesting and a little bit spicy towards the end, for sure. 110%, right, I'm calling it right now. It's going to get spicy as Luno flies by the AlphaTauri with better grip, better traction, better exit speed, and a bit more battery and performance of DRS. And he's into P8, so he is flying on the track right now.
Yep. There's also Luno got past Boomsha. Victor coming in to serve his drive-through. Was that his drive-through penalty? Oh no, he's just on soft tires. I thought Didn't someone get a drive-through?
I knew someone
remember
did, but I can't
correctly.
remember who it was. I believe. Oh, no, I can't remember now. Oh, it's gone up my head. I had it in my head and then it just disappeared. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll
I
have a
can't
look
remember
just to
now.
make sure. Yeah. Oh, it was Belva and Victor. Yeah, they both got drive-throughs for speeding. Oh, not speeding under VSC. But yeah, right now Brandox is now within a second of Provotox. I think if I remember, I said the gap was 5 seconds beforehand, like a while back. I think it was less than that. It was like 4
Yeah.
seconds or something like that. Yep, it's now within 3 tenths between the Aston Martin and the Ferrari, and they are not far away from each other. Brandox is right on the back of the Ferrari, and he's going to be looking for something here
Wow.
after the Casio triangle. He gets through. Very nicely done. He's up to 4th. Now he's going to try to get by El Pilator, who is still staying out for another lap. Nathan gets a 5-second penalty for speeding. And there, oh, a slow moving. Oh, okay, that was interesting.
That was interesting indeed.
Okay, you saw exactly what I saw, right?
Yeah, I just saw a lag
Um,
fest
well,
with the Ferrari ahead, and then all of a sudden the Ferrari's behind, and that Ferrari is lagging all over the place at the moment. So hopefully that calms down a little bit. If not, they may be asked to retire in the pit lane safely, as that can affect the other drivers on the track.
Well, yeah, now we've got Brandox all over El Pilator. Still has... Actually, no, if I remember correctly, I'm sorry, he doesn't have to stop. I just remembered that he actually was the driver that pitted on lap 3 during the first safety car. He's got... Oh, he's on 15-lap-old tires. He could try to go to the end, but those tires are going to be struggling towards the end of the race. Provinceto's trying to look for a move on the Aston Martin there at the Kobayashi hairpin. Can Brandox get past the Alfa Romeo? He has to get by him quickly as possible. Gee whiz.
He'll get by this lap.
Get by him as quickly as possible. Yeah, he has
Down
to
to
do it quickly.
130R, he's going to go for it. I can tell he is. They got closest to rearing of the Alfa Romeo. He may actually stay behind. So maybe into the triangle chicane potentially. But I think that'd be a little bit too risky. I think he's just going to... Whoa, that was a bit close for contact there. I don't know how he made... I think he made slight contact but no wing damage. But good exit. Battery on. DRS enabled. And he'll fly away. And what about Pravatox? Not close enough. That Red Bull, though, is gaining and gaining and gaining behind, but isn't gaining enough on the straight. But those two, P2 and P1, that got very spicy on the exit there. I thought a driver was going round, but somehow they haven't.
Yeah.
Which is impressive.
Yeah, no, it was very impressive. Brandox now takes the race lead. Now he can try to pull away as best he can. And look at that, he's already built up a 1-second margin already at the end of the S's. So yeah, the grip of those medium tires are playing to full effect. I said before he was in prime position to win this race, and right now he's definitely in a prime position to win this race.
100%. And we're going to keep our eyes also on Nathan. Even though he's got a 5-second time penalty, he's on a brand new set of softs, and he is flying up the grid so far. So maybe he could even be a contention for a really good finishing position. As I say that, Ferrari has gone off completely, but they are a lap car, so that was a bit dramatic from my point of view, but that was a bit of a spin at 10-11. It was indeed. That was a bit scary, but I think he just lost it there completely. But look at Pravatox on old tyres, once again, showing that you can have the pace. Well, not old tyres, but 8 laps. Obviously, it's hard to say because Brandox on fresher tyres on the medium, so he can definitely go to the end and have better grip. But P2 struggling so much for that rear end. He is having so much snaps. He is struggling as that Ferrari into P2.
There goes the Ferrari. Yep.
Insane.
Yep. Very simple. Very simple move there. Pilator just trying everything he can. He just doesn't have the pace, doesn't have the grip. As Ludo gets by Yanetsky there for 5th place at turn 1. And same with Nathan trying to get by his teammate as well. So the AlphaTauri's once again swapping places here on this race. But yeah, 8 more laps to go, I'm sorry. 8 more laps to go in this race. As Matt Zozo is trying to get by Tuka there at turn 1 as well. He gets by, oh, that's a bit of contact as well from watching that. But they get through that relatively unscathed. But in the meantime, Briggs, though, has to get by the Alfa Romeo quickly as well. He needs to get by him and then try to get by Provatox. He does have the better pace. compared to the two in cars in front. But yeah, he has to get going quickly. And yeah, no, you could definitely see El Pilator's tires are definitely struggling. Like we mentioned, he's on old tires, 17 laps old to be precise. He pitted on lap 3 for those tires because he was involved in that entire skirmish during the first lap with that 9-car pileup-ish, pretty much. And again, Riggs just didn't have the run to get closer to El Pilator. In fact, El Pilator actually got a better run than Protox did, but he just wasn't close. But he just wasn't close enough.
And also, what's quite interesting, the longer that Red Bull stays behind, we've got driver swaps happening down at the back of the grid. That Aston Martin and Luno is catching, and there's a yellow flag. Someone has gone off, I believe. I believe that might have been the Haas car that may have caused that yellow flag issue. But as I was saying, look where Luno is in P5. He is just chilling, and he is gaining quite a bit of time on the cars up ahead with all the scrapping and fighting they are doing. So Luno right now, I believe, is just chilling, but also quite low on the battery. And that's Janetsky, a 3-second tyre penalty for the warnings.
Safety car!
And
it's
that
a
is...
safety car!
Oh my goodness.
A safety car has been deployed as Tucker has crashed out at turn 2. Nicholas Boyter and oh my goodness, what's happened? They both collided at the exit of turn 9. Nicholas Boyter and Nathan have come together. The cars have disappeared now, but the cars came together before the hairpin. That is a strange incident. And yeah, 3 retirements in the span of a couple of seconds, and we've got a safety car been deployed with just 7 laps to go.
Yeah, and now the pit lane, potentially, going to be very, very busy. As we see that Aston Martin definitely coming into the pit lane. What about the Ferrari man, though? Is he into the pits? He is indeed.
Yeah.
No, P3
Yeah,
definitely in. Everyone is going to be coming to the pit lane for sure. 100%.
Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo gonna have to double stack, unfortunately, as you got Alpator in the pits, and same with Yanetsky coming in behind him at the same time. Luno is in as well. Yep, he's gonna get involved in this double stack. So yeah, Brandon still maintains the lead. Protoss maintains second, and now Alpator, who was on old hards, has been saved by the safety car. He's up in third, and Riggs is in fourth. Luna's down to 6 actually, because McKaylee decides to stay out. He doesn't want to pit for soft tires apparently. So Luna's at 6, Leo's at 7. Yanetsky, because of the double stack, is down to 8th place, and then Boomsha in 9th, Brokey 10th, Matzo's at 11th, and yeah, there's the double stack as well for McLaren. Oh dear, as Victor's going to lose a lot of time. Well, it's looking like. And Dominic Nielsen up to 13th. I don't know what's going to be going with Julian. I don't think he'll be able to pass the cars in front, even though he is lapped. But of course, in this game, it doesn't really give you the indication for lap cars to overtake the safety car unless you're the lead car if ahead of the leading to the safety car. But yeah.
I mean, whatever happened there, might have been a crash, might have been retirement. We're not too sure what caused that yellow flag infringement. But a safety car on lap 22 out of 27, and like you said, I can't see the name, P3, saved, literally saved by that safety car. Fresher tyres now, and they're going to be flying if they've got all it takes to have the pace. But Pravatox too, back where he started in qualifying, back in P2, and Brandox back where he started P1.
Yeah, yeah, but that was a strange incident. I was looking at Nicholas and Nathan, just how on earth did they come together towards the hairpin? Because yeah, like they were on the right side wall when I saw them. There must have, I think Nathan and Nicholas were not giving much room. They came together, and then yeah, as a result, we all know the result of the incident. So yeah, that probably is gonna be. I would imagine that's gonna be looked at as well, unfortunately, for that incident. But yeah, that was a bizarre incident for sure. But that wasn't what caused the safety car. That was because of Tucker crashing out of turn 2. That's what was That's what really happened. As
Yeah.
now Julian's finally back into the session. Well, the good news for you, Julian, is that you're back in the session. The bad news is you're 3 laps down. Have fun. Oh no, actually, you're not 3 laps down. You're actually 5 laps down. So yeah, have fun with that.
Just say you're
But,
so supportive, aren't you, KD? You know, you're very, very supportive. But no, it gets down to the wire now, doesn't it? With all these drivers, it gets intense.
Oh,
I
well.
think they're going to be having heartbeat monitors, like, boof, 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 like just absolutely insane right now. A safety car at Japan. It's going to be horrendous. It's going to be crazy. I'm not ready for this restart if it doesn't go in the favour I'm thinking right now.
Well, I mean, anything can happen.
That is
For
very
sure.
true.
But yeah, no, I could imagine though there probably will be some type of lunges we're gonna see. Hopefully though that doesn't involve in anything big. But yeah, that'll be interesting. You know what else I've also discovered too?
Go on, go on.
You know, this is actually a little bit off topic. You know that little red bar where you brake, obviously, right? The left one. I
Oh,
noticed
yeah,
like a
yeah.
few drivers they have a few of them that are long and a few of them that are quite small.
Yeah.
Like Riggs and McKaylee have big ones. I wonder what that really means. I never understand that. Is that like the bias? I wonder. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's. Ah, hang on. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's just measuring your brake bias. Ah. Okay.
Here we go
Okay.
then. Right, KD. I'll hand it over to you for the safety car restart. Good luck. Have fun.
Right.
And don't lose your voice.
Radio. Yeah, radio. Well, I'll try to keep my voice intact if I can. But anyway, Brandox will lead the field as we got the safety car coming in this lap. So the Aston Martin safety car coming in. The Aston Martin F1 car leading the way. As he's going to get going out of the final corner, back onto the main straight away. We're back under green flag conditions here at Suzuka, and it's a good restart as well from the Alfa Romeo of Pellitor. He's alongside the Ferrari. He takes P2 away from Provatox into the first corner. Very nicely done there. Everyone gets through there relatively fine, actually. And yeah, unfortunately, though, I think a lot of drivers might have been put back a little bit thanks to Julian's lapped car, because obviously you cannot overtake under safety car conditions until you get to the control line. But right now, Brandox leads the way. He's got actually nearly a second already to El Pilator. Provatox in third, Riggs in fourth. McKaylee, though, he's going to be under a bit of pressure here from Luna as Luna looks to the left-hand side. He's just not quite close enough there, but he's got the better grip. And yeah, he's got the better grip, better traction, contact there. And it's to the hand go up there with the Aston Martin driver. Killian, what are you doing there? I'm trying to get past you.
Lose 2 positions to 1 corner. Because Leo will now get up into P6. This could now be
Maybe
3
three
and 1
here.
point. He's off.
Yeah, Yanetsky goes through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the trouble there. Those medium tires, he doesn't have the grip compared to the softs.
And look at
Brandox, though,
Brandox.
he's pulled away. He literally is pulled away.
Absolutely.
Excuse me. Excuse me, I had to sneeze there for a brief moment.
That's
Yeah,
fine,
two
you
se-
know. Oh,
Yeah, he's got some serious pace. What do you know? He's got the fast lap. 127.738. I don't think anyone's going to beat that. As
You
right
never
now
know.
we get to. Yeah, you never know. True. Mats does overtaking Brokey there to the first corner. That's for the final point scoring spot. Remember, top 10 do score points here at PSGL. As yeah, no, everyone's getting through relatively fine. But yeah, Brandox, he's definitely in a position to win it for sure. He just has the pace. No one really has the pace to keep up with him at this rate.
I don't really think they're pushing hard because where did we restart? Was it lap 24 we restarted or 23? I've lost count
What are you-
now.
24.
24. So lap 25 now. DRS will be enabled this coming lap. How interesting is that going to be for the driver ahead and the driver behind? That'll be quite interesting and probably a little bit chaotic on the exit triangle. Can you imagine like DRS, battery on, attacking, defending with no straight line speed? That could be scary. But Brandox, no one's got the pace to challenge him today. He is gone.
No.
Like if we ride on board with him right now, look at the gap. 3.1 seconds. He's like just waving his hand like, you know, just waving away like, bye-bye, I'm off, see you later.
Yeah, he's also at almost at 35%, I've noticed. So yeah, he has used a bit of battery, I've noticed, but I don't think that's going to matter anyway, as DRS is now enabled. So the drivers will have only really just one chance of DRS, if you think about it, because they'll have it only on the final lap. Luna looking for something there at turn 1, can't find anything there. It's the first corner, so he wasn't really close enough. He did peak, but yeah, just wasn't close enough. Yeah, Brandog's looking set for a race win here at Suzuka, as long as he doesn't make a mistake.
Exactly.
3.3 seconds in hand. But we could definitely see the challenge for P2 with Provotoc and El Pilator. Riggs is also not too far behind, our current championship leader at this moment. Could try to fight for a podium here. Literally the entire top 6, and maybe, yeah, top 6 can fight for the podium. I can't say Yanetsky because he's got a penalty, unfortunately.
I mean, it happens, but he's done well this race, you know, he has done well, but with how close everyone is, I think he'll drop a few places and actually be out of the points position, so quite unfortunate for Janetsky, but it happens, you know, you learn from your mistakes, hopefully they do, and they'll be better for the next race, but right now, we lay eyes on P2. Some hefty defending to do, with Pravatox literally breathing down his backside, and Riggs. What's Riggs got in store? Battery. Everybody has got a decent amount of battery, but here we go then. DRS on, battery on for the final time here at Japan. Who is going to defend and who is going to lose out? Down to turn 1, that Ferrari is gaining and gaining and gaining, moving in the background.
Alpha, not quite close enough. He doesn't have the momentum to get past. Oh, hang on, we got incidents towards the back here as Victor. Oh, and there is another one there as the spinning Michele goes out at turn 2 and retires on track. That's going to be a penalty, unfortunately. You cannot do that.
To be honest, right now, at this moment in time, if Pravatox can keep within a 10th or 2, he's still got 130R. If he saves the battery, he have a nice tow down that straight. And look how close he is. He is putting pressure on the Alfa Romeo. So there's still time to make corners, make up a lot more time, and push, push, push. It's all about exit here, and all about trying to get as best as you can and close as you can. And saying that, if you look at battery-wise, the Ferrari has a lot more battery than the Alfa Romeo. So it could all be down to the wire here, all the way down to the line potentially, as they're going to exit these couple of turns here. 130R now. Who's going to be on top? Who's going to be behind? That Ferrari is gaining and gaining and gaining. He's going to look. He's going to go wheel to wheel.
He's going to go for it in 130R. He takes it. He's got P2 away. He's got it there. Nicely done there by Provotox. But meanwhile, out in front, he started on pole. He controlled the race. Brandox takes the flag. He wins the Japanese Grand Prix. Takes his first victory here in F7. Provotox, with the last lap gas, takes second place. And El Pilator, after being in last at 1 point, finishes in third. Absolutely fantastic for the podium places. But
and
well
insane.
done to Brandox. Brandox, though, gained the win.
Insane finish to the end. And like you said, GG's to Brandox. Phenomenal work there today. That was insane to watch. I don't know about you, but that was crazy. Like,
well done. Well done.
I was not expecting that, to be honest. Like, wow. Just wow. Impressive. Very impressive end to that race. And like we said, battery-wise at 130R, or on the exit there, to the entrance at 130R, Pravatox having enough battery just to have a bit of a cheeky move up the inside. And I'll tell you what, maybe, just maybe, the Alfa Romeo driver may be disappointed that he got dropped, you know? So, who knows? But that was a fantastic race to watch. Apart from the safety cars we had, and some collisions, and some drivers potentially getting penalties on track, but that was a fantastic race tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well done to Brandox. He deserved it. Got fastest lap, got the full points. Yeah, this is definitely going to help him in the championship. So yeah, he wins. Provotox second, El Pilator third, Riggs in fourth. Yeah, that's gonna dent a little bit in his championship here, as he's still the lead, but not by much. I think after that, Luna 5th, Leo 6th, Boomster 7th, Yanetsky 8th, Batzozo 9th, and then Victor rounds off the 10 in the points. Thomas
Yeah.
Nielsen, Brokey, Michele, Julian, McNathan, Nicholas Boyatuka, Belbaby, Straduzzi, and Liam, all within outside the points, unfortunately.
But like I say, they've still got next week to score some awesome points. And speaking of points and the calendar,
Mm.
let's have a look to see what the next race will be. So now we can check off the lovely track of Japan. Done and dusted.
I think we go to Imola after this.
Oh, we're going to Imola. Nice. I absolutely love
Yeah.
that track. Like I said, or haven't said yet, but Imola is a replica of Japan. It is so hard to overtake there. That's going to be awesome to watch as well. I'm excited for a lovely track at Imola. That's insane. I cannot wait for that. I'm excited now.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
excited.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Imola provides some pretty good racing. It's a tough track though to overtake, though. I will say that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm also gonna let the podium says know that we've got we can do interviews.
Yes, we can have a look indeed.
Yeah, I'll have them join the waiting room, and then we'll get the.
So,
Yeah.
guys, after that race, let us know in the chat, number one, who your driver of the day was, and how exciting was that race for you? Did you enjoy it or not enjoy it? Like,
Mm.
what are you guys feeling right now? Because from my point of view and KD's point of view, that was a crazy, crazy race. Like, I have no words. That was just insane. Absolutely crazy. With all the wheel-to-wheel
Yeah.
action we got, Tur 1 chaos. Wow, that was great. That was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Excuse me. No, absolutely. It was just good racing for P2, and I think Tommy made it very clear about who we thought was the driver of the day. Definitely was Brandox, and same with Luca. I probably would agree. He looked like he was in control. I mean, it sounds cliche maybe a little bit because yeah, he got pole and all that, but he was just in well control of the race. Like he was at the front most of the time, didn't really get involved in anything. And I think, yeah, this is the best race he's had so far. But yeah, no, this is definitely going to help him in the championship for sure to get closer to Riggs in the Drivers' Championship. Riggs finishing in 4th. I mean, still a solid result, but I know he would have liked a little bit better just to salvage anything. But yeah, he had a better result than what he did at Austria. Austria, remember, he kind of struggled a little bit that race. But no, this time around, he did a pretty decent job, I think. But yeah, no, it's been quite interesting. And I think, if I'm correct, I'm going to count this out. I think this is now our 5th different race winner as well, if I
Yeah.
remember correct, with Brandox, for Brandox, yeah. Because we've had Provatox, we've had Riggs, we've had Michele, and Yanetsky. So yeah,
Yeah.
5 different race winners.
That's
Absolutely.
crazy. I'm just 5 different race winners. Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 5
We've
different
got
race winners in F7.
lovely comments in the chat. One from Phoenix saying, brilliant commentating from the two of you, but whoever finished P3 from last place at one point on the grid was insane. And I'll tell you what, that was insane. Like, absolutely crazy.
Oh, we have Provatox in the waiting room if you want to get him in here.
Lovely.
I don't
So,
have to do
yeah,
it.
we'll go ahead and do that. We'll get to the lovely. Is indeed. Let me just do this and do that, and then we can get him over. Right then, shall we bring Provatox up and see how he's doing today? Let's see how they're doing.
Absolutely.
Let's get him up. Provatox, welcome,
Okay.
buddy. First off, how are you feeling? And please let us know. Explain to us, how was that race for you today?
Yeah, well, it was a bit, how can I say, it was super hard to follow Brandok, almost impossible. So, deserved winner in my opinion. But yeah, I'm very happy with P2. Finally, a qualification which was pretty good for my standard.
Yeah,
And
no,
yeah,
like, yeah, I wasn't around for qualifying unfortunately because I had to do something, but I heard it was about 77,000 separate between you and um Brandox for that. That's pretty quite close indeed. But yeah, your highest I think overall for so far this season.
I must say the whole field was pretty close in qualifying. And yeah, I only did like one good lap, and that was it because my banker was not that great, and my second stint also.
Mm.
And in the race, yeah, I tried something with the strategy. I have no idea what the best strat was today, but yeah, the soft died very quickly for me. So I tried something with the undercut. I think it would have been enough for P2 in the end, but yeah, with the safety car, the last few laps was sweating crazy. Trying some DRS tactics, but yeah, I managed to have enough DRS to pass El Pilotor on the final straight.
Mm.
But with those
Yeah.
late safety cars, it's always a bit lucky in the end.
Talk about also your last lap as well. Your little lunge into 130R against El Pilotor. That honestly, I probably would say, from our point of view, is probably one of the best overtakes we've seen this season so far.
Yeah, also fair play to him to not try and do something crazy there. Maybe I think I left enough room on the outside and he did enough on the inside. So yeah, fair play to him also. And he was a bit lucky with the safety car because I think he pitted very early to the hard tire. And yeah, the safety car was perfect for him. So I think P3 is not even that bad because I think he started outside the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to? You have any more further? Sorry, any more further questions? So, Flynn
Well,
or Protox?
I have one more. Obviously, next week we head to the lovely track at Imola, and I say one of my favorite tracks in real life and on the game, Pravatox. I want to ask you, could we see you in top three, potentially pole position? And what's your quali pace and race pace like at the track? Is it all right? Is it good or is it not great because of like the twisty turns left and right? What are your thoughts right now on that track?
I must say
Sorry.
I've not done Imola this year, but I also didn't do any Japan races. So if I compare the two of those tracks from last year, I think it was a bit better on Imola than Suzuka.
Mm.
And yeah, seeing the track we did earlier, I think Imola would be yeah, a nice track for me. I don't
That's
know what
very
the
good to
strat
hear.
is and if there are anything possible, but yeah, I of course hope for rain because that's
Yeah.
something I would like to drive.
Yeah, righto.
If it's dry, that's also another problem. So yeah, hopefully another podium next week.
Well, it can be possible for wet weather race in Imola, as we've seen in the past. But yeah, I'm sure the Ferrari fans over at Imola will definitely be cheering for you for sure, and of course the entire Scuderia. But we wish you luck, and yeah, good luck for Imola next week.
Yeah, thanks, and hopefully see you then.
Yeah, of course. And I think we've also got El Pilator in the waiting room as well.
Ooh,
If we can just move him in here.
lovely jubbly. And since I
So,
did the first one, KD, I'll let you take control of the second interview. So here we are. Let's do this.
alright, alright, cool. Hello, El Pilator. Can you hear us? El Pilator? There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there you are. Hello.
Hello, good now, good night.
Good, good, good. Hello, man. And so yeah, let's talk about this race for you. You had a very interesting race in a lot of perspectives, I think we can say. You had a bit of a rough start. You were last at 1 point, and on this first safety car, I don't remember if you got caught. I remember you got caught up with that incident at turn 9 on lap 1, but you tried to say I bet you could. And then yeah, the safety car kind of saved you towards the end of that race. How about you talk me through exactly what was going through your mind and all that stuff that happened in that race?
Well, after in the first lap on the next two, there was a massive crash I couldn't avoid, and I got orange front wing, so I have to pit. But
Mhm.
I want to go hard in case there is a late safety car. So I stay out, and pray for a safety car. And in the moment that probably the Ferrari will get up me of the would get out of my DRS for to say there was a safety car, so I pit and I was really lucky. But I have to be there. You have to be there in order to take profit of this situation.
Mm. But yeah, no, from 13th to 3rd, quite impressive though. Yeah, that of course the safety car came involved, but still though, you did everything you could, especially when you were on those old hards. If I may ask though, like while you're on those hards, what was the situation with that? What were your tires at, if you remember, like
Uh,
the percentage?
when the safety car came out was 63, I think.
63%. Oof. So that would have been marginal then, I'm guessing, if you would have stayed out a little while longer, eh?
I knew that if I pit, I will be out of the point, so I take the gamble, and it worked.
Yeah,
So
fair
very
enough.
happy.
Flynn, do you have any more questions for El Pilator?
All I'd really say is, obviously, congrats on where you finished and stuff like that. Of course, we move to Imola
Imola.
next weekend. Are you going to be competitive at the track? Would you say?
I really not that fast, so I will just take a gamble in the strategy and if see that it works like here. Because I don't have the pace. In Japan, I didn't feel like the setup was wrong. I got too much turning light speed in sector one was crazy. In the qualifying, I lost like more than 3 tenths in just the first sector. So
Wow.
it was a mistake in the setups, but I hope in
Right on.
Imola I could do better and not be in the podium because of the lack of the safety car for the pace only.
Very,
Well,
very
I know you'll
interesting.
definitely have the yeah. Well, I know you'll definitely have the backing of the Italian crowd because this is technically your home race. So, I wish you luck. Well, Flynn also wish you luck too. And yeah, good luck to you for Imola next week.
Cheers.
Of course. Well, with that, Flynn, I guess we
Yeah.
can wrap it all up. It's been a very been interesting. It actually was a little bit better, I think, than last week. Had a bit of drama though, a bit more drama than I think we've had since Silverstone. And yeah, no, it actually provided some pretty good entertainment.
It definitely did 110%, you know. For Japan, if you want my honest opinion, I was expecting a very boring, dull race, but we got some awesome racing on track today. But nevertheless, fantastic to see drivers fighting and stuff like that. Can't wait for more for Imola. That's going to be exciting. But yeah, like you said, it's time to wrap it up. So, from me, Mr. Flynn, I am pretty much tired, flabbergasted what's happened, and ready to go to bed. But KD, what about yourself?
Well, for me, well, it's the afternoon for me, so I'll get ready for a little bite to eat, I guess. But yeah, no, we'll wrap it up here. So I've been K1997. My co-commentator has been Flynn, as always. Thank you very much. Also, Flynn, for being alongside me for the entire season so far. And
No worries.
we'll see you. And we'll see you for, yeah, of course, and we'll see you for round 7 of the championship at the Autodromo Denzo Dino Ferrari for the Emilia
Yes.
Romagna Grand Prix. So
Very
take care, everybody,
excited.
and good night.
We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
He's got the inside, but up here is through on the left-hand side. Hugs the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Opmeer now to the last couple of corners now. His finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium. Once again, the GOAT is back. Jarno Opmeer wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.
Cocaine to my nose, there got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine to my nose, there got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine to my nose, there got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine